Hi, welcome to K-Strology. My name is Yvonne. I'm a professional astrologer, and today I will be taking a look at Felix from Stray Kids chart. Before we begin, just a little reminder, I use the Hellenistic approach in all my readings. Also, we won't be taking a look at his rising sign since we don't have it confirmed. So we will be using just 12 p.m. As the birth time for him. A few things may change, especially the moon sign, so have that in mind, keep that in mind. But other than that, we can just get started, shall we? Okay, Felix, our little Australian angel, love him. His chart is very similar to Hans. If you haven't checked Hans' chart, you can go watch that video. But again, a few things change in his chart, so this is great because we can see how different people are independently of them having the same sun sign. And I think this really helps us stay away from that sun sign astrology that can be very boring sometimes and very pop. But let's start with that sun, and let's just start with the basic delineation. He has the sun at 20 degrees of Virgo. Mars is at 28 degrees of Leo. Mercury and Venus are in Libra, 14 and 15 degrees. The moon is in Aries that day. That's the difference with Han. Han is a Pisces moon, unless he was born after 9 p.m. the day before. So keep that in mind because he can also be an Aries moon. We don't know. And Jupiter and Saturn are in Gemini over here. As we said, the sun in Virgo is for two types. There are different types of Virgo people, but I think one of them is very structured. They like to have everything in order, and the other ones have their own system to organize things. And I think Felix is more like that type of person, that he has his own system that works for him, which is really good. But for others, that may not be easy to understand or easy to see, so to speak. So bear that in mind because there are different types of person out there. Now, that what makes him different from Han is that moon in Aries, which I think a moon sign, a fiery moon sign, and an earthy sun sign, I think it's a good balance in the sense that you have the enthusiasm and the drive to do many things and be very active, and the steady capacity to finish what you start, because fire moons are very volatile and they just get carried away by emotion, which I think Felix does. And I think we see a lot of it in the concerts when he's just like, do you want one more? And do you want one more song? And he's like very loud, like moons, fire moons, especially Aries moons, can be very loud, and they can be very firm in their expressions. When they feel something, they feel it all the way. It can be very intense, but it can be very explosive as well. So when anger comes, it just flows right away. But just as it comes, it leaves. So their emotions are very short-lived, and they can forgive easily, forget easily, but get angry easily, and get fall in love easily. It's very intense. It's very Aries in the sense that they want to feel everything. They want to be the first at everything. It gives them this competitive edge. I think that's why Felix was also very good at taekwondo or martial arts when he was little, because he had it in him to be with other people, playing as a team, but also competing. They have the fire and the energy to carry on and carry through all those things. The moon in Aries also embodies emotions in a very intuitive way. It's easy for them to feel emotions in their body, but not like as physically, but they can, they know that something's wrong. It's more intuitive. So they know something's wrong and they're just like, I just feel feel it somewhere. I don't know where, but I just feel it. That certainty, it's very fiery. It's very much part of fire signs. Intuition is a very fire sign word. But I think it's also balanced, and there is a nice balance with that opposition between his moon and this Mercury over here in Libra, because he feels things and they come rushing into him, but he takes his time to the time and patience to process those emotions, to put them into words. So when he's talking, I think that's why we see him being very composed, very thoughtful in his delivery. I think that also adds to the quality of his voice. Very powerful, very deep, very gravely. I think that's a very Aries trait. And I think that Mercury moon opposition is what gives him his voice. But also that versatility, because when we hear him sing, he can also have the voice of an angel, and he can be very dreamy, and he can make your heart soar, so to speak. So I think it's magical to see that in his chart. And when it comes to your voice, yes. And his voice is very elegant, which is very Venusian and very Libra-like, because when you have Libra placements, there's the sophistication, this grace, especially in Libra. In Taurus, it's more earthy, it's more terrenal, but also like it's more like a goddess. Meanwhile, in Libra, it's more like aesthetically pleasing. So his voice is not aesthetic, because aesthetic implies the eyes, but it's really nice to hear. But he's also very nice to look at. I mean, come on, that, like, we cannot deny that he was like sculpted by the gods, and it's a beauty that you cannot explain. Now, one more thing is that things on your face, normally an Aries rules the head. So I think his famous freckles are very much related to that moon in Aries, because like Mars rules Aries, and Mars also rules all things related to scars, and freckles are scars because of the sun exposition. So I think it's very, very beautiful, and I'm very inclined to think that he is an Aries rising person. That's why I'm saying that. But that's just one of my crazy theories that you may be also used to by now if you have watched my previous videos. But he can be an Aries rising. I do see a lot of that. He has drive, he has fire inside of him, and I think it's not only that moon, but also another part of that fire is Mars in Leo, which gives him that theatrical quality. Mars in Leo, people love drama. They're driven by it, whether it's witnessing it, not just being part of it. I think they try to stay away from it. But once you get one of these people in drama, get ready, because they will get a close out. And listening to his song Unfair, I think it really speaks to that theatrical part of himself, and that's very Leo. And that theatrical part is Mars, and its expression, its aggression as well. Aggression can be also a show, and I think martial arts really fall into the domains of Mars in Leo, because you have to put up a show, make it look good, make people have fun, but also achieve a goal, which is defending yourself or harming another person. So those qualities, and I think that why he's so good at those martial arts things is his Moon in Aries, but also Mars in Leo. That's why he's also so good at being doing the acrobatics in the group and doing this complex choreography and making it look good and nice for the camera. I think that's why he registers so good in the visuals, and it's a very visual placement, and I think it really speaks to his nature. Now, as we said, with Hans' chart, Jupiter and Saturn in Gemini make information a part of his life, but communication too. So I think this also adds up to the way he expresses himself and why he's very composed and slow when he talks. I think Saturn has a lot to play in there, because it just gives that little push or oomph to that Venus in Libra. So more of that gravely voice is thanks to that trine that they have going on there. And I think for him, in his emotions also, it's easy for him to feel overwhelmed with the amount of information, and it's really hard for him also to handle all of that. And learning is not a nice experience for these people. There are many challenges, whether it's like learning styles. Maybe you're a visual learner, maybe you're more of like you learn easily like through listening or by doing. We don't know what his learning style is, but once you find it, things become easier. But learning, it's a challenge for these individuals, and it's a generation, not a generation. It's for the individuals that were born 2000, 2001. It's a challenge. Yeah, that's it. That's the word. It's a challenge. What else can we say about Felix chart? Well, yeah. Mercury in Libra also gives us people who are peacemakers. So I think all his efforts and his the way he does charity and his interest in helping others and being so willing to give some of his time to others really has to do with displacement. And he does that because it's out of love, like real love and real appreciation for others, and not just to like for show. No, he doesn't do that because of that. And I think it's very admirable, and I think it's really smooth. I don't know how to say that. Like it shows how soft he can be, and it just like sharpens the edges of that Aries Moon. But that Aries Moon gives him the drive to do them. If he was, for example, a Libra, a Taurus Moon, he would be a little bit more. He would just donate and not donate his time. Like he would just send a shipment of things. But giving your time, it's a very conscious effort. It's very like Aries Moon, but also Libra, because Libra wants to even the scales. They want to see fairness in the world, and they also want to bring some sense of normalcy and balance wherever they go, and that's important for him. And I think his surroundings are also very important for him. So an aesthetically pleasing place makes him feel better. That's a very Venus in Libra thing, also like a Moon in Libra thing. We saw it with Chan. So I think they understand that amongst themselves. And I think that's it. I mean, it's a very straightforward chart. Love that fire moon. I think it was one of the things that caught my attention as soon as I looked at Felix's chart, and it's very beautiful. One of my favorite charts. Differences with Han, well, that moon, I think Han is more sensitive, he has the proclivity to getting his feelings even more than Felix. That doesn't mean that Felix doesn't feel as profoundly as Han, but it's just the way they handle their emotions. Han has a more private way of doing so. Felix has a more physical and outward way of doing it. But we love to see it. Like, this is, and I think that's why they get along so good, because they understand each other, probably not from their emotions all the time, but from some of the things that they have been through. And same with Sungmin, which is our next chart. Next time that you come back to this channel, we will have Sungmin's chart, and we can just compare the three. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about Felix's chart. Do you have any of these placements? Do you see yourself in any of them? If there is any chart that you want me to react or take a look at from any other idol, artist, leave it in the comments. I will try to fit some time and have it here in the space. We will also be reacting soon to some of their solo videos, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thank you. 우연이라고 하기엔 I'm so 깊이 doesn't make any sense.